Hi guys, and welcome to the long run number 3 follow-up with Alban Dunn. We touched on last week park run and we talked about the Donadee 50k, so we said we'd come back to talk to Alban primarily about park run. We want to get that information out to people about the amount of park runs around the country, and also, is it the non-park run, is it, Alban? Not park run, not park run, which thousands of people have signed up to over COVID, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to hand you over to Alban, and Alban is going to give us the rundown on all the information you guys need about parkrun at the moment, okay?
Great stuff. Sean, thanks for having me back again in challenging weather conditions yet again, but sure, it's Ireland. I guess I'm starting off with parkrun, and anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love parkrun. I eat and sleep it, and I'm really passionate about it. For anyone who doesn't know what parkrun is, in essence, it's a free weekly timed run, and they happen all around the world. The first one happened in the UK in October 2004. An amazing man called Sinton Hewitt. How it started was he was injured and wanted to be part of the running community. As we all know, our communities are what are keeping us sane at the moment throughout the lockdown and just in general in life. And he told his friends he'd do a time trial for them. So I won't go into too much of the details, but it grew in the UK, grew throughout the world, and then it came to Ireland in 2012. And that was thanks to an amazing guy called Matt Shields, a fantastic runner up in Belfast. And now we have over 100 events in Ireland. So the events are on a Saturday morning at 9:30, a 5k event. And then on a Sunday morning, we have at 9:30 a 2k event for our juniors. Obviously, like all races at the moment, they're not happening. We like to call it a pause within parkrun. We didn't think the pause would last this long, but it has. We're coming up on just about a year. Our last event to take place in Ireland was that weekend in March. I believe it was March 7th or 8th that happened. We're incredibly lucky that our sponsors have stood by us within the parkrun community. And so while the events aren't taking place, parkrun came up with great ideas to engage the community that's there, one of which is a not parkrun, a bit like the virtual races that are happening around. So you can log your 5k and they will choose your best 5k for the week. I'm doing a not parkrun or more every single day. So it's become hugely successful. As a lot of us know, running is a great way for clearing the head, staying healthy. We're all trying to stay as healthy as we can at the moment. So there's lots of people out running. So if you haven't checked out parkrun, do, because the website will tell you how to log your not parkrun, and you can still feel connected to your community. I guess also the thing to remind people is that it's free, weekly timed for everyone. Parkrun is incredibly inclusive. So when we do come back, the welcome you will receive will be just amazing. All levels and all abilities. So in fact, the parkrun world female record was broken there. It's lucky enough to be back on in Australia and New Zealand at the moment. And I was listening to an interview with the lady who did it, Laura, and she's originally Scottish but living over there in Australia. And she ran a blistering, I should know exactly how fast, but I'm not sure. I know it was, I would run about twice, it'd take me twice as long to run my parkrun. So parkrun welcomes people of all abilities. We celebrate the super fast, but we also love the people taking their time. I think you get more value for your time when you take your time in your parkrun. We even have volunteers that walk at the back. They're called a tail walker, and they're there to ensure that nobody finishes last, because we know lots of people starting out in events are anxious that they'll be finishing last. So right across the field, parkrun welcomes its walkers, joggers and runners. Also, a big part of parkrun is obviously the volunteers. It's run entirely by volunteers. There's a small staff within the UK, and there are country leads around the world. So I'm a volunteer within Parkrun Ireland. I'm called an event support ambassador, which sounds very posh, but it's not. Anyone can be one, really. I'm lucky enough that I helped set up, with the help of great friends, Cabinteely Park Run, which is in Dublin. That was 6 years ago nearly. And from there I was asked if I'd like to help forge other events. So basically what I do is, if there are new events setting up, I just help train them in and give them the support. And a number of years ago, Parkrun decided that they would now forge ways. They used to grow organically, but they decided that they would forge ways and go into areas that in particular need park runs, areas of maybe social deprivation, and it's hugely successful. So there'll be a park run near you, whether you want to take the kids along on the Sunday for the 2K or do your 5K. And in the meantime, have a look at the website and sign up for your Not Park Run. And it's nice just to kind of chase yourself every week and see how you're improving, or take it easy. But it's just great. I'm so passionate about it. I could talk about it all day, which I won't. But check out parkrun.com, Parkrun Ireland, and we look forward to welcoming you at the start line in any of the park runs when we're back eventually.
That's super. Thanks very much, Alma. I know from my own experience from doing park runs, my local park run at home is in JFK Arboretum, started up by Catherine Ronan. It's a super event, and afterwards there's tea and coffee and drinks and stuff. So it's very much a community, like-minded people. You'll see people walking dogs, pushing buggies. It's a really great way to start your weekend, and like Alvin said, it's free. There's not much in this world that's free these days, so that's one great thing about Parkrun. It's free and inclusive, so we'd really encourage people to look into Parkrun. Everything about Parkrun is really positive. So the second thing we want to talk to Alwyn about today is her 50k, her Donadee virtual 50k, which she completed last Saturday in tough conditions.
Very tough.
The longest I've ever ran is a marathon, which is 42.2 kilometers.
Yeah.
So you're running an extra 7.8 kilometers on top of that.
Yeah.
Now, I know how most people know how tough, who've done marathons, how tough they can be. So Alwyn's just going to give us some feedback and some insight into what it's like to run 50 kilometers.
Thanks, Sean. Firstly, thanks a million for my earmuff, which worked fantastic. I actually ended up having a few changes of clothes. As I'd said to you, the forecast wasn't great, and for once the forecast was right. It really wasn't great on the day. So I headed off, I think, about 8:15 in the morning, and I generally don't wear earphones. Over the years I haven't. When I first started running I did. I still have a bit of music, but actually during the lockdown I found I'm listening more and more to podcasts, because it stops you thinking about exactly what's going on. So I have been listening the odd time to podcasts if I'm out on a longer run. So one of the extra added advantages, apart from keeping my ears warm, it kept my earphones in. So that was great. I really got good use, and I definitely would recommend. I'd probably pick up some more of those. I hadn't worn that. It was handy as well when I was wearing a peak cap to keep the rain out of my eyes. So thanks for that, Sean. Headed off about 8:15. As I like to always remind myself, nobody had a gun to my head to send me out the door. It was my choice, so I just went out the door. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit disappointed that the conditions were, as bad as expected. But when you start moving and just say, well, I've all day to do it, and I took advantage. When the wind was at my back, I tried to relax into it and run as fast as I could and kind of make up a bit of time. Then when it was in my face, again, I felt I had to keep reminding myself to relax. I got blown into a wall at one stage, but the doubling back to the house worked out fantastic. Joe, the first time I went back, Joe had a drink of hot water with a slice of orange in it, so that actually went down a treat, and I'd made a flask of hot chocolate. So I kind of just tucked in, kept going. The added advantage, I suppose, of the bad weather was there weren't many people out walking, so I didn't have to compete for my spot in the cycle lane or on the road, so I just kind of got on with it. And then Joe joined me for the last 10k, which was just great, because anyone who knows Joe knows he's great, a big strong man, big and tall, so he ran ahead of me into the wind, so it was lovely. So I enjoyed most of it, if I'm honest. At times the wind was a bit much and stuff, but again, so lucky to be healthy and happy and running and out and about and be able to still get out and about, and my 5k is beautiful. So for me, we're all feeling at the moment there's not that much we can control. We can control our own movements and do the best and stick to restrictions. So the sense of not being in control for a lot of us is tough. So that's what I love about setting myself a running challenge. So for anyone, I mean, it doesn't have to be a 50k, just set yourself a little goal. And the sense of achievement then is kind of great. I was absolutely buzzing all afternoon and had loads of chocolate, a few nice glasses of wine, and was just delighted to do it and so thankful. So thanks to Anto for organising it, and some blisteringly fast times on the 50k. If you want to check out their Facebook page, it's quite funny. Two fellow Cabinteely Park runners did it as well on the day. One of them even, crazily enough, decided to actually do it, and he did 10 Cabinteely Park runs. And anyone who's visited our park run in Cabinteely can tell you it's a tough route, and they had snow there the whole time. That was Rob, and then Ted, the other guy, did really fast. But everyone, again, in Donaghy, there was people walking it. You could take a few days to do it if you wanted to do it in bits and pieces. So I suppose, again, like the park run, the 50k, whatever you're up to at the moment, just be happy with what you're doing, whether it's walking, jogging or running, and set yourself a little goal. And it's great. I find that's really helping me, Sean, and anyone I know. So it's great. And celebrate the good stuff that you do. And if you go out and it doesn't go well, don't beat yourself up. There's always tomorrow to get out and about again.
Yeah, super. That's super. Thanks very much, Alwyn. We will hope to, in the near future, hopefully everything going well, park run will be back on. That's, you know.
Yeah, well, as soon as it's safe and we're allowed to come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, a park run is like all other major organisations, being safe. And whenever it's safe, we will be back. It is hoped, but again, as we've all learned from the last year, we don't really know anything what's coming down the line. There had been talk in the UK before this third wave that possibly the junior park run may be able to come back if kids' sports are back and schools are back. So that may happen. Nothing in the pipeline at the moment. Still engaged with everyone with the not park runs, and the social channels are really good fun. So we will be back. Our sponsors are great. They're sticking by us. But in the meantime, there's the not park run. But yeah, when we can get back, I think we're all itching, aren't we, Sean,
Yes.
to get out together.
But what we'll do is when we are getting close to getting back, we'll come back to Alwyn again for some more feedback and information on that. We'll keep you guys informed on what's happening with parkrun, because I know there's a lot of people out there are very interested and are keen to get back to parkrun. I'd like to thank Alwyn today for her time in very tough conditions. Hopefully the camera wasn't wobbling too much and the sound is okay. I've really enjoyed this again today. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thanks, Sean. I've enjoyed it, and just thanks to everyone for all the lovely messages last week. It felt like a real race getting loads of messages after the video. And another thing to say, I'm wearing my dry robe because I swim at the Forge, but I don't live in this. It's just that every time I meet Sean, the weather is fairly grim and it's perfect clothes. So yeah, just keep smiling, keep walking, jogging or running, and do whatever gets you through. Thanks, Sean.
Great. Hopefully the next time we talk, we'll have a bit of sunshine. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Hope your run is going great. Stay safe and like, share and subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye now.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks a million.